Today we're going to turn an emerging goblet. And right now we're just getting the branch or limb to round so you guys can see what we're working on here. This is just a branch off of a cherry laurel tree. And we're going to turn this into an emerging goblet. So since we've got it round, let's go ahead and make some marks on here. So the goblet portion, we're going to call that about right there. And we'll go all the way down to here with stem, make ourselves a little bit of a base there. We'll do a couple of little peeling cuts here. There we go, that gives us a rough shape, and we'll come around here to the end and go ahead and start hollowing that out. So we're not going to get real aggressive with our cuts because we are quite a ways from the chuck there. Now remember folks, we're cutting into end grain here. So you're not going to get a lot of big shavings. That's why you see all that basically sawdust coming out of there. So we're just checking our depth here, and you see we're right close to where we need to be. Just a little bit more and we'll be there. As I'm feeling the thickness, we need to thin this out a little bit through here. I think that's right where we need to be, folks. So what seems like a very thin stem when it's on the lathe, when you take it off, it's going to feel clunky. So just bear that in mind. It always looks smaller on the lathe than it is when you get it off. You gotta love turning green wood. Just love watching those shavings come off of there. Okay. I'll tell you what, folks, I'm going to take just a little bit of a break from turning this, and I'm going to go ahead and sand the cup portion of this goblet. And that way it's done, and I don't have to go back to that once we get this stem on down and longer. Okay? So I will be right back. And while I'm doing that, why don't you guys go ahead and subscribe so you get the updates when the new things come out. We're getting ready to have a giveaway come out, and I don't want you folks to miss it. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified and you can get in on the drawing, okay? Okay, so I have finished sanding the inside of the cup and down the stem to about right here. Got it sanded to 320. So I brought up a cone here to put in this center because that stem is going to get pretty thin, and this is a lot of weight out here on such a thin piece of green wood. So we'll go ahead and start back up to turning and bring that on back. Be sure you remember to push with the hand that's on the end of that handle and not pull with the one that's up on the tool rest. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a spindle gouge, see if I can't get in here just a little bit closer to do this final work right here on the bottom. Okay, folks, we've got our goblet formed. We've got our stem formed. Now we want to come in and find that base. Again, this is where the spindle gouge can really come in handy. Okay, folks, so we're back. Got the sanding done. I'm going to go ahead and coat this with a coat of Minwax antique oil. And we'll go ahead and give you a better look at that. Minwax antique oil, I've got to where I use that quite a bit, especially on green wood. And this is green wood. So we're going to go ahead and just apply a liberal coat to this. This does an amazing job of keeping this green wood from cracking. I like to put it on the bark and everything. There's a couple of ways you can do this. If you put it on and wipe it off, you'll get a nice satin finish. If you put it on and leave it on and let it dry, you'll get a nice glossy finish. Of course, I don't have to tell you, you have to do pretty thin coats when you're doing that. For this original coat, I'm going to go ahead and turn the lathe on slow, wipe it off, and then we'll part this off, and I'll put a couple of more coats on it later. To do that, I'm going to wipe this down real quick. Okay, we're going to go ahead and part this off. And when you're doing a parting cut like that into bark, you want to raise the back of the handle up and come in more as a scraping cut and slowly lower the handle, because what you don't want to do is come in as a peeling cut and peel that bark off of there after you've done all this work. So the other thing is, go ahead and don't try to cut all the way in with a single cut. You want to go ahead and open that up, give yourself a little room in there, and then don't try to completely part it off. You can get it small to where you can either cut it off with a saw, or in this case, you'll see where I just twist it off. Okay, we've got it down pretty thin, so we'll just go ahead and pull the tailstock back. And what I'll do at this point is just give it a twist and break that off. And then I can take and sand the bottom. Okay folks, I am back with a finished product. What you see here is what we just turned, the emerging goblet. Still got the bark on the base. And I always like it when I can find just one little area to knock down to the wood. Give you guys a little better look right there. So it's been about 24 hours since that was turned and the finish put on it. So it's had time to soak in and mostly dry. Folks, I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you get out in your shop and make some emerging goblets yourself. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy turning.